I never believed words had weight beyond the air they disturbed. That belief died the night I shouted into the sky. It happened on the observation deck of Outpost K-117, a rusting human mining station hanging at the edge of mapped space. The deck was half-pressurized, cold enough that breath fogged the air, and empty except for me, a bottle of recycled grain alcohol, and the stars. I was drunk, bitter, and newly fired. An impressive trifecta even by frontier standards. Earlier that day, my contract had been terminated, due to redundancy. That was corporate language for we found someone cheaper who doesn't ask questions. I was 32, broke, and about to be shipped back to Earth with nothing but a resume full of half-finished jobs and failed promises. So I laughed. Sharp, ugly sound. "Is there anyone out there?" I shouted toward the stars, arms spread wide. "Who wants to marry me?" It wasn't a prayer. It wasn't even hope. It was sarcasm, pure, distilled mockery. A way to spit in the face of a universe that had never once listened. The stars, as usual, said nothing. I finished the bottle, staggered back to my bunk, and passed out convinced the moment would die with the echo of my own stupidity. Didn't. 3 nights later, the station's emergency alarms woke everyone. Red lights flared. Gravity hiccuped. I slammed into the floor as the artificial field struggled to stabilize. "Unknown vessel approaching," the station AI announced, its voice far too calm for the situation. "Energy signature. Non-human. Configuration. Unregistered." I dragged myself to the viewport along with half the crew. Outside, where empty space should have been, something folded reality like paper. A slit of darkness opened, rimmed with crimson light, and a ship emerged. No, not a ship. A structure, grown rather than built, its surface smooth like obsidian bone. No engines. No thrusters. It simply existed where it chose to exist. The comm channels exploded with panic. Someone screamed about hostile intent. Someone else prayed. I just stood there, a chill crawling down my spine that had nothing to do with fear. The structure aligned with our outpost. A beam of dark red light brushed against the hull, gentle as a lover's touch. Then the station AI spoke again. "Direct communication request received." Language adapting. Every screen flickered. The image that replaced the static stole the breath from the room. She was humanoid mostly. Tall, impossibly poised, with skin pale enough to seem luminous. Her eyes were red, not glowing but deep, ancient, like wine aged for centuries. Dark hair framed a face both beautiful and terrifying in its stillness. When she spoke, her voice resonated through bone as much as air. "I am Lady Velisra of the Nocturian Covenant," she said. "I have come to answer a proposal." The room went silent. "A proposal?" the station commander managed. Velisra's gaze shifted, and when her eyes met mine through the screen, my heart stopped. "Yes," she said softly. "A call was issued from this location. A vocal declaration of willingness to bind life, blood, and future. I have traveled far to respond." I laughed. It burst out of me, hysterical and wrong. "This is a joke," I said. "Some kind of prank." Her expression didn't change, but the air grew heavier. "In my culture," Velisra replied, "marriage calls are sacred. They are not issued lightly. Nor are they answered without certainty." The commander turned slowly toward me. Others followed. 100 eyes burned into my skull. "You," he said. "You did something." Backed away. I was drunk. I didn't mean. Velisra raised one pale hand. The station shuddered, metal groaning like it was alive. "You spoke truth without intent," she said. "That is the most honest kind of call." The Nocturians, we learned quickly, were not myth but something older. An ancient species that fed on bioenergetic resonance rather than blood, though vampire was the closest human word. They lived for centuries. They bound themselves rarely. When they did, it was for life and death. The Covenant's laws were simple and absolute. A marriage call, once answered, could not be refused without consequence. To reject it was to declare hostility, not just to Velisra, but to her entire lineage. Earth Command's response came 12 hours later. They told me I was expendable. "You can't be serious," I said during the secure call. "You're going to hand me over to an alien vampire to avoid a war?" The official didn't even flinch. "You issued the call. The Covenant has already demonstrated superior technology. A conflict would cost billions of lives. This is unfortunate but necessary." I felt something cold settle in my chest. Not fear. Betrayal. Velisra requested to meet me in person. The commander begged me to cooperate. Armed escorts led me to the docking bay, though we all knew weapons were meaningless. The air shimmered and she appeared. No doors, no ramps, just a distortion resolving into her form. Up close, her presence was overwhelming. The station lights dimmed instinctively, as if they recognized a superior knight. "You are afraid," she said. "Wouldn't you be?" Snap. Her lips curved slightly. "Fear is acceptable. Contempt would not be." "I didn't want this," I said. I mocked the idea of marriage. I was angry at the universe. "And the universe answered," Velisra replied. "You called into the dark. I am the dark that listens." She studied me, head tilting. "You are fragile, short-lived, loud, emotionally erratic. Wow, you sure know how to make a guy feel special." Her eyes glittered. "And yet you spoke without calculation. You did not seek power, status, or survival. That is why I came." I learned the truth over the following days. The Nocturians were dying, not in numbers but in spirit. Their long lives had calcified their culture. They feared change more than extinction. Interbreeding was impossible, but marriage to a short-lived species created something rare. Legacy urgency. A reminder that time mattered. I wasn't a sacrifice. I was a catalyst. Earth tried to negotiate conditions. Velisra ignored them. She negotiated with me. "You will not be owned," she said. "You will not be consumed. You will stand beside me, not beneath me. And if I say no?" Her gaze softened, not with mercy but honesty. "Then my people will interpret it as rejection of honor. I will mourn you. And then they will burn your world." I believed her. The wedding took place in orbit, beneath a canopy of engineered night. Nocturian witnesses floated like living shadows. Human diplomats watched in horrified silence. The ritual was not blood, but resonance. She placed her hand over my heart. I felt her presence flood me, ancient, vast, but controlled. In return, something strange happened. It changed. Time touched her. For the first time in centuries, Velisra felt the ticking pressure of mortality, not as fear but as purpose. And I felt something else. Strength. Not physical power but significance. My existence mattered on a scale I'd never imagined. Years passed. Earth didn't burn. Instead it changed. Through Velisra, humanity gained a voice in ancient councils. Through me, the Nocturians learned urgency, creativity, and something dangerously close to hope. Conflicts cooled. Trade flourished. The galaxy shifted. Age. She did not, but she stayed. On my 70th birthday, I asked her if she regretted answering my call. She smiled, red eyes warm. "You mocked marriage," she said. Yet you honored it better than any immortal I have known. When I finally died, peacefully, surrounded by stars instead of regret, she held my hand until it grew cold. The covenant expected her to return unchanged. They were wrong. Valisra declared a new law that day. No call would ever again be dismissed as a joke. Because somewhere, in the vast dark between stars, even mockery could become destiny.